Welcome to our orientation video for our motorhome. We called our motorhome This Is It, and if you've hired it, then the reason why we called it This Is It is because we want this to be the place that you enjoy a wonderful holiday in New Zealand. And we're glad that you're going to be able to do that with the motorhome. The motorhome is an Autotrail Delaware, and it's a full berth, and we have a 150 horsepower diesel engine in it. It's turbocharged, and it can travel along the road reasonably nicely and smooth. So we know that you can have fun. The first thing I want to show you as we do this orientation is the key. Now the key's got some electronic components, particularly regarding opening and closing the van. It's got 3 buttons on here. The top button is for opening the cab. The bottom button is for opening the leisure vehicle on the back. The middle button is for locking. So we're going to unlock the van, and you can see as I unlock the van that the lights flash. That's really normal. And as I open the leisure vehicle, the step comes out. There we go. That's cool. Okay. So we're going to have a look around the outside of the vehicle. First thing I want to show you as we go around is this is the filler for the diesel. The diesel filler cap is in there, and we need the key. The key opens just with the little button on the key, and it's just a matter of turning the key, turning the filler cap, and releasing it and taking it off. Filling it up with diesel, and then putting the cap back on again and locking it in place with the key, and then you're fine. That's all cool. Now the next little compartment along here is called LPG, and this is for the LPG tanks. The release for the LPG door is in behind the driver's seat. Just around the corner there you can see a little handle just down here, and it's a matter of just lifting that handle and releasing the door. The door is then released, and we hook it up with a little hook here, just so it doesn't come down and dong you on the top of the head. And inside here we have 2 9-kilogram gas bottles. They're both full when you pick them up, and they should be full when you drop the van off again. Okay, so this right hand one is the one that's usually connected, and we just turn the gas on and off with the little knob at the top, fairly standard for a gas bottle, and these will last quite a while. The van uses quite a bit of gas in regards to the stove is gas, the hob top and the oven is gas, the hot water you can be running on gas, as well as the fridge. So quite important to have 2 bottles. If one empties, you just swap over the other one and then stop off somewhere and fill the other one up, so you've always got a full bottle. Okay, we'll just pop that away. As we come along the van, we've got the door that opens. On the door is a rubbish bin for getting the rubbish in. We've got bags that go for that, and the step, which is automatic. Then we come along to the next little compartment, which is the toilet compartment. Now this has got a cassette in it for the toilet, and we just open that up. Excuse me. Inside we've got gloves and some hand washing bits and pieces. I'll just pop them down there for now and show you how to get the tank out. So the tank, we have a clip in here that holds it in place. You just lift that and pull it out, and the whole system comes out. And when it's full, you want to take it to the dump station, and you've got a handle there, just a bit like a suitcase, and wheels on the bottom. And then when you empty it, you just pull this up, and you open the cap, take the handle. This goes down the outlet for the dump station, and then it's got a little air release button on here, and you just pop that down the hole and push the button, and it empties by itself. Then you wash it, clean it out, clean the inside, and before you put it back into the vehicle, we have sachets. You just pop a sachet in here, and then you're ready to go again until it's full again. There are indicators in the bathroom, and I'll show you that when we go into the bathroom a little bit later. You pop it back in again, clips into place, bits and pieces go back in again. Wash your hands, and you're all set. Don't forget to lock it. I know no one's going to pinch the toilet, but it's still a good idea to lock it. Okay, we come down to the back, and we have it's almost like a boot in the back of the vehicle. Again, we unlock it. Now the boot is actually on the alarm system, so the vehicle has an alarm system in it when it's locked. And this has got sensors on it as well, so if someone tries to break in, you find that the alarm will go off if you're not around. Okay, so inside the little boot at the back, we've got things like a table, outdoor table. We've got outdoor chairs. We've got a floor mat to go into into the awning, and we've got a picnic set and a rug and a small toolkit with a hammer in it, which you might need to put some pegs in the ground. The pegs are in a little bag in behind here, and there's a few other things we'll have a look when we get on the other side. Now this is an important thing, the handle that lets the awning down. So we're going to show you right now how to put the awning down. The little handle goes up into there, you can spin it, and then you can wind everything out. So we wind it out to about 1 meter, and then just hooked up in here are some legs that are sprung loaded. We just spring them out, and we spring them down, and we clip them off here, and that just hooks it into place. And at this end, another one. We need to put these down just to help the awning go out. It can't carry all its weight, and we just want to make sure that it goes out safely. Okay. From there we can just keep winding it out. It's good if you've got two of you to do this. One person can move the legs, and another person can do the winding. It goes out quite a long way. Just move that up again. We're on a bit of a slope here, but that's okay, because you can control the height of it. It's a different height. Okay, so there we go. That's the awning out, and it's very nice. It keeps the sun off the side of the vehicle in a hot sunny day. And then if you need to, because it might be blowing a little bit, there might be a bit of breeze, some pegs down into the holes in the ground, 2 there and 2 at the other end, and that just stops us from lifting up. Now we're going to show you how to put that awning away. And it's just to do the same thing in reverse. And we wind it in. Move the legs over. We pop the legs up, put them back into place, over there, and then we just complete the wind right up into the band. It self-centers itself, and it will clip into place just nicely. There we go. Walk it away, and then this can go back in the boot of the van. Okay, now we come to the back of the van, and on the back of the van we have a 2-bike rack, so if you want to hire a couple of bikes and go for a bike ride, then that's fine. These will take it quite nicely. And then we also have the spare wheel. Now the thing about the spare wheel is it's probably a big vehicle to try and change a tyre on. So we recommend that you use roadside assistance, that by contacting My Way, if you get a flat tyre, best thing to do is to ring them and get someone to come and change the tyre for you. Okay, let's move around to this side here now. We've got another door to the boot on the back of the van. Again, we have to unlock it. It's got another alarm indicator on it, so the alarm will go off if someone opens it. In here, we've got the seats in here, and we do have a barbecue. So if you want to have a barbecue while you're here in New Zealand in our beautiful outdoor, you can have a barbecue as well. Okay, we'll just lock that up. There's plenty of room in there for suitcases as well, so we suggest that when people come, they empty their suitcases out into the cupboards and then put their suitcases away in there. They don't have to have them in the van. Here we have an air vent, which is from the hot water system, and I'll show you how to work that a bit later on. But if you are wondering whether it's going, you can usually feel some nice warm air coming out of the vent there. It gives you an indication. And here we have the freshwater filler cap. Again, we just unlock it, we take that off. We've got a hose, you connect to a drinkable water source, and the hose goes in, fill it up. You know when it's full because water starts running out of an overflow pipe underneath the van, and that gives you an indication that that it's full. Okay, now we're coming along here and we have another door here, another compartment. Again, just unlock it, and inside here there's a couple of things, a couple of important things. One is we have the power cord. The power cord that goes from the electrical supply unit into the van, and it's fairly self-explanatory. Here you have a female plug which goes into the vehicle, and then you wind it out and the other end goes into your power supply. We also have in here some levelers, just in case the ground is a bit unlevel. You can pull the wheels up onto some levelers. There's a couple of them there, and that just helps you to get the vehicle just a little bit level. Most of our sites here in New Zealand, the campsites are level, so that's cool. Now we come to another compartment which has got a lot of works in it, and it's down low here, so I need to just show you how this all works. We undo that with the square key this time. All the others have been the round key, but now we use the square key on this compartment, and it lifts up, and then underneath here we've got all sorts of bits and pieces. So on the left hand side we have the fresh water hose. Like I said, you need to find drinkable water, and then you can fill up the water tank. And here we have the grey waste pipe. The grey waste pipe takes away the water from the grey tank. All the water from inside the van, the shower, the wash basin and the sink all goes into a grey tank, and that needs to be let out when you get to a dump station. And to do that, we have to make sure the tap's off, so the water's not coming out. Open up the unit there and plug this one in, and then just pull those back into place, and that tightens it in place. And this end of the hose goes down the hole in the dump station. You can find dump stations at most campsites, and in most towns they have a community dump station, so you just got to find out where that is. They're not hard to find, and you can when you've emptied it out, then you turn the handle on this in here, so that it opens the vent, opens the flow, and the water comes out, and then you close that off. Once the water's all out, close that off, and then put it away in the compartment. This has to go back on again. This has been left off before, and usually falls off as you're driving along the road. Hopefully you won't do that, and then it goes back into this compartment here, and that's there for next time when you need it. Now, we talked about the toilet around the other side, and in here we've got the sachets. We supply the sachets for the toilet, and they look just like that, and you pop one of those inside the toilet, and then that keeps it nice for the time that you're using it. We also, if you do run out of those, we also have a liquid sanitizer, waste tank sanitizer, and the instructions are on this as to how to use that, and that's just an extra in case you run out of the little sachets. Over here we have, this is where the power plugs in. So you saw the orange lead before. That's the one that goes with the van. This is one I use at home to plug it in, and this is the same. Got the same fitting on the end. You just take it out, a female plug, and it just plugs up into there, and then you're on 230 volt. Okay, these are the house batteries here. You don't have to worry about those, they should be fine. They're looking after the inside of the van to make sure you've got power. Okay, then we just lock it up again. Make sure that you lock it up, because without locking it, travelling along the road, this can pop up and all the bits and pieces can fall out. So I think that's pretty much the outside of the vehicle, so we'll leave it there and we'll catch up with you inside again later. I just want to mention something as we come to the finish of the outside. Two things. One is there's quite a long overhang from the middle of the back wheel to the back of the vehicle, and sometimes if you're going over through into a driveway or an entrance to a car park or something, it can be very low to the back. So you just got to be careful as you go with that, because it's quite a big overhang. And the other thing is that when you're going around corners, this will travel quite a distance. You just got to be careful that you take things wide enough so that you're not hitting things with the side of the vehicle. Okay, so there's a couple of things. The other thing is, just want to show you the step here. As often you get in the vehicle and the step is out, and you want to start the engine to go. You'll hear it going beep, 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 and that's indicating that something's not been put away. Now it could be one of three things. It could be the step is out and it will automatically put the step away. It could be that the TV satellite dish hasn't been put away, and that will also beep for that as well. But the third thing is the electric cable. If you leave the electric cable in and you try to drive away, it's going to go crazy and beep and beep and beep at you, just to remind you that there's something that hasn't been put away. And then you can check, make sure everything's okay, and get it all sorted out, and then you're on your way. Now the step, as I said, and also the satellite dish will automatically put themselves away, but you've got to get out and take the power cable out if you've left it in before you drive off. Okay? Now we're inside the van, and one of the first things I want to show you how to do is to set up the double bed. We have two double beds in the van. The one down the back is made up all the time permanently, but this one, if you've got more than two people, maybe a couple of kids or another adult, it's a bed that needs to be made up. First thing we need to do is get rid of the coffee table, which swivels out here. This is the dining area, so we're going to make the bed up in the dining area. We remove the coffee table from there and we place that in the cab. Now we have several cushions in here which we don't need, so those disappear into the cab as well. And we need to, one of the first things we need to do is we need to find the bar that holds the bed up, which is located up in here. It's got a trough in there which fits into the unit over here. We'll pop that in just a little bit later on. I need to get this side here open. So we take the cushions off. Again, they can go into the cab for now. We will need one of those again a little bit later to make up the bed. But we remove this cushion here, and we have to take these, we slide these pieces of timber out, and then we can pop this into place. This hooks on into here and over the top of that and just clips into place. Then these ones slide into that channel. On the front of the seat there's a channel for that to slide into, and it goes right to the back wall, and then this one also slides into there as well. And that makes up that section of the bed. This mattress then pops into there to start making the bed up. On this side, and underneath here, in this unit underneath here, we have a topper pad. Now that just makes the bed a little bit more comfortable. So we'll just pop that out there for now, and we slide this compartment out. It comes all the way out to that to join them together. Now we can put the mattresses into place. the one at the back pops down, this one goes in there like that, and then this is where we need the one from the front again. Pull that one back and that just pops into there as well. Then we can put the topper pad on, which makes it really nice and comfortable, and there you have a double bed with a mattress. Now also, just to make it really nice and comfortable, we have what we call duvelays. Now they're located up in here. There's 2 single duvelays, and I'll just show you how to use one of them. And if there's 2 of you, you'll need 2 of them, but if it's only one person, then one is fine. We just undo the straps, and that releases that to come out, and then they go back up in the cupboard, and the duvet comes out to there. And we also have pillows, and they're up in the cupboard here, which you'll need to use. And then this has a 40mm mattress, which makes it even more comfortable, and then a duvet on top of that. And so it's just like having a sleeping bag in some respects, but it's got a duvet on it. You can have it double thickness, or you can just have it single thickness. And if there's 2 people, you just put out 2 of those and you make up the bed as a double bed, and that's okay. And then to put it all away, just in reverse, just roll that up. Put the straps on. And that goes back up into the cupboard where it came out of. Topper pad just gets rolled up, and that goes into the unit underneath here. This goes back into place, goes into the cupboard, that comes down, this mattress goes back, that one goes into the front. These come off, and again they just fit in inside each other. Some little hooks that clip around to stop it from falling out. This brace comes off the bar, goes back up into the cupboard. This goes away back on the seat to make the seat for the dining room. The cushions come back in again. And so do these ones. Here we go. Dining room all ready for breakfast. Very good. Okay, so now we're going to look at the cab and just orientate ourselves with a few of the features in here. Over here on the door we have the ordinary window winders up and down, and also a lock. So we can lock the van from here, but we can also unlock the van as well. The whole van, and as we come across to the steering column, as this is a European vehicle, this is slightly different to our New Zealand indicators and light switches and window washers. So in this vehicle we have the window washers on the right hand side, and on the left hand side we have the indicators and the light switch. That's pretty standard in regards to it's all fairly well marked, so it's easy to operate. On the dashboard here in the speedo, because the speedo is still continued to be in miles per hour, we put some little orange markers on here that indicate 50 kilometers, 80 kilometers and 100 kilometers. So it makes it easy to see where the dial is at and gives you an indication of the speed. As we move over to the left, as I said before, it's a 6-speed gearbox and with reverse. So the only thing about putting it into reverse is it's got a release knob here, so it's just a pulling up towards the lever and then pushing into place to go into reverse gear. So that's fairly straightforward, and just to pull it out and that releases the knob. A bit further to the left we have the air conditioning unit, indicating what part of the cab you want to have the air blowing out of, and here hot and cold and the different speeds for the fans. This is the aircon button that just depresses to turn on the air conditioning. And down here below there is a couple of little buttons here. This one here, like on the door, this one unlocks the cab and this one locks the cab. And so you know, that's just when you're inside the cab and you want to lock up at night time, just come and press the lock button and it locks all the doors in the vehicle. Just above that is the stereo system. The stereo system operates with a little button on the left hand side here. You just hold the depress button, and it's not going at the moment because the key's not in, or that should be going. Yep, it's coming up, it's got no signal. And it's got all the different things on it. The navigation system doesn't work in here, but as you can see just above it we've got the TomTom. But the navigation system is an English one, so that it's not relevant for New Zealand. Radio, you've got Bluetooth so that you can plug your phone into it. Oh, and also works the TV set. We'll have a look at that just a little bit later on the auxiliary, so we'll look at that later. Down here is the typical cigarette lighter, and also a charger for your phone, or at the moment of course we've got it running the TomTom. Okay, just coming back up and for night time, just for privacy, we have some privacy curtains in the cab. Over here beyond me is a privacy curtain that comes out of the side panel there and pulls in and just clicks into place, and then in the morning just retracts. It's a little bit delicate, so just handle it a little bit careful, and that folds away there quite nicely. And over here the same thing, we've got it runs on the top and bottom rail, and that just gives you a bit of privacy at night time for the rest of the cab, and makes it nice and dark for you. So that's cool. And there's, we've got the two this side and the two on the passenger side as well. Just above us we've got the interior lights. They just function as per normal. And then above that, this is the TV screen. I'll just show you how that works. It's got a Velcro thing that holds it up there, and the TV screen pops down. All the buttons for controlling it are up here, but we also have a remote control as well. I'll show you how to operate that just a little bit later on. Okay, let's put that back up. Okay, the seats in the cab are what we call cabin seats, and they actually move quite a bit. So there's a lever on the bottom underneath here that moves the seat backwards and forwards. There's also a lever on the side here that when we pull it out like this, the seat actually rotates as well, and it'll go right round so that you end up sitting in the dining room, and you can enjoy, you know, using it to eat from as well. On this side here there is height adjusters. This lever here adjusts the front height, so you can lift it up, and the next one, the back one, adjusts the rear of the seat, and that will lift it up or it will drop it down. So you can adjust it for height depending on what's comfortable for you when you're driving. Okay, the seats also come with some nice comfortable armrests, which are adjustable by this little button underneath here, and you can wind that and it will just wind it down to a comfortable height for driving. Really nice for driving, very comfortable, and the vehicle will travel quite nicely in 5th or 6th gear at 90 k's. You can get up to 100 k's, but our roads are not quite up to the standard of the motorways or the autobahns in some parts of the world, but it's a very comfortable vehicle to drive, and it's got the 2.3 litre diesel turbo engine, so it can get along quite nicely. Okay, that's the cab. Okay, just want to show you the vents in the vehicle now. We've got a very large roof vent here, and there's another one down in the bedroom down the back end. Just want to show you how we open them. They open by winding, but because they're quite big, we like to just give them a little bit of assistance to take off right at that early stage. They wind up really quite nice and high, so it can give you plenty of air out or air in, fresh air coming in. They also have sliding shutters here to stop the light from coming in, to protect you from the hot sun, and on this side to protect you from the mosquitoes, which you will encounter in New Zealand, but don't let that stop you. So you've got the alternative there of either of those, and just letting it down, just wind it down, and that's cool. Now if we move just back a little bit further, we can find another vent back here. This one in the kitchen. This one is to let air out and let air in the kitchen. When you're cooking, you might want to let some air out. This operates with the 12 volt, so and that one's taking air out, and you can also turn it off, and you can actually pull air into the vehicle as well. It's got different speeds on it. The more you push your finger on the button, the faster it goes. Okay, so that's just to let air in and out, and that's a great vent. Also, you can just let some fresh air in if you have the vent open. In the bathroom, you've got a vent in here. You have to take the rail out. This is a towel rail that we put in here just as an extra, and the vent, again, a mosquito net, and it's just a matter of squeezing the handle and raising it. You can raise both sides or just one side depending on how much air, but when you're having a shower, great idea just to let the steam out of the shower box. In the toilet, we have another vent in here, and you just push the button and pull that down, and it's got several different heights or levels that you can have that at. Open right wide, or half open, or closed right up. So that's good too. And then the final vent is the same as the front one, exactly the same. Wind it up, give it a little bit of help, and that's cool. Okay, so now I want to show you how the TV in the camper van works. We actually have two TVs, one in the front and one down in the bedroom. We'll go to the bedroom one a little bit later on, but I want to show you how to use this front one now. In the cupboard here, as I said before, these are some of the TV components in here. So the first thing we need to do is, we've got a little sign here that says front TV, and we need to switch that on. Okay, the next thing we need to do is, there's a unit here just inside this cupboard. It's got an on-off switch on it up here, and what we need to do is push that button and hold it for about 2 or 3 seconds, and then release it. We'll see the lights come on to the unit, and what we're going to find now is that this is telling us that the satellite dish is going to come up, and we'll hear the satellite dish and see it. There we go, the satellite dish is automatic. It puts itself up and it searches for the signal, and this unit in here, just have a look at it and watch it. It's going to go and search for the signal. There we go. Okay, so we come back here. This is telling us here in this unit here with the screen on it, it's telling us that it's searching, and it will tell us when, there we go, signal found, and it's analysing. So now we've got the satellite dish into place, we need to turn the TV on. Now, I did say before that we had to use the unit down here, the stereo unit. Again, we turn that on, and we pull the TV down, and that should be going because we turned the switch on. So here we go, the TV is operational, Now, if the TV hadn't come up like that, it might not have come up because you had it on radio. If we turn it back to the radio, we can hear we've got we haven't got many music on the radio at the moment, but the TV channel, the picture is still going because the satellite dish has found the picture, but we haven't got any sound. So we need to go from radio up in the top left-hand corner. It goes back to the home screen, and we go to auxiliary, and let's do that again. Auxiliary, and we need auxiliary 2. It's on auxiliary 1 at the moment. We go to auxiliary 2, and then the sound comes through. We put the little buttons away. Like I said before, we've got buttons up here that operate the TV, but we also have, if I can just get up for a second, just get up here, we also have a remote control here to help us to operate the TV. Now, instead of pointing it to the TV, you have to point it to the little black receiver up underneath here. So we can change channels on that by just pushing the button, and that will change the channels on the TV to TV2. There we go, we've got a new channel on there now. Now, if we need extra volume, we also have a controller up here, and this operates the sound system. So we can increase the volume on here. If I can find the volume button on there. Where's the volume button? That one there? Okay. And we can increase the volume on the stereo in the unit.
Great. Cool.
Okay, and volume down. So that's the TV operational. To turn it off, we just do everything in reverse again. We can turn the TV off by pointing the TV over to the controller, and that just shuts it off. And then we can pop that away. And we turn the TV off again by pushing the button up in here. TV off, and now we need to put the satellite dish away again. So again, we hold the on-off button, we hold our finger on it for a couple of seconds, and the satellite dish will automatically close itself. Antenna closing in progress, and you can see it putting itself away. Now, I did say before that if you leave it out and you forget that it's up there and you go to start the engine, you will hear it going beep, 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 and it will actually put itself away on the starting up of the motor, but better to put it away at night time. It does catch the wind a bit, so just have it up when you're watching the TV. That'll be cool. So that's how we operate the TV, and I hope you got all of that. Now I want to show you how to use the TV in the back. This TV we use just for watching DVDs on, and we have a number of DVDs that we have in the van in the top drawer here. Also the remote controllers in the top drawer as well. And so the red light is indicating that it's off at the moment. This is the sensor here, so we point the and push the on button, and the TV will come up, and it should come on automatically to DVD, and then we'll put a DVD in and show you how it operates. So we take the DVD and we put it in with the mirror side of the DVD facing us and the coloured side away from us, and we put that in the DVD slot down the side there, and it says it's loading, and we'll just wait for a few seconds and make sure that it comes on so that you can see how it works. Just while we're over here in the corner here, just when we lift the lid up here, we've got a laundry basket in here for putting your dirty laundry in. So that's quite a handy little feature in that corner there with the cupboards underneath. And underneath there are some pegs and a linen line that you can use for hanging your washing up as well. Okay, so the TV's going, the video is on, and we can control the volume, sound in here as well. And you can lie in bed in the morning or at night time, whatever you want, and watch a DVD in here. Okay, that's cool. Or just to actually get your video out, your DVD out, you have to press the record button on the remote control. We've discovered this. They've actually labelled it incorrectly, and that really should be eject, but it's the record button. So you press the record button, it opens it up, and the DVD pops out. One of those idiosyncrasies of a TV. Okay. Okay, just put the divider away. And down here we have the double bedroom. I talked about the double bed that was made up down here. It's very comfortable. Okay, as we come down, I'm going to show you how the kitchen operates. And the first thing is the stove here. So we have a gas stove. We remove the dish cloth. This soaks up any water from the washing up when you're doing the dishes. You can lay the dishes on there, that's fine, but we have it in here to stop it from rattling. We have 3 gas burners on the top and 1 electric. So if you're plugged into 230 volt, you can use the electric one. Otherwise we're on gas. And we saw the gas bottles earlier. So I'm going to ignite the one at the back there, just so to give you an idea as to what it's like. We have to push the knob in and turn it, and then ignite it with the switch, and then the heat comes on. Okay, that's the same for all of the switches. The grill operates also as a gas grill. You can do your toast in there, or you can use the oven down here. And right down the very bottom, with this cupboard down here, we just push and release, and inside here are the pots and pans. There's several pots in there and bits and pieces that you'll need in the kitchen, and then that goes away. And then we go up here, and above the stove we have some electrical components. We've got a toaster, a jug, and also we have a gas kettle. So you can use the gas kettle on the gas, and if you're plugged into 230 volt, obviously you can use the jug and the toaster. To the left of that we have a microwave oven. Now the microwave as well only operates on 230 volt, and down the side we have a cutting board. Right, so that's where the cutting board is located. Down the bottom here we have a cupboard that opens up, and inside here we've got all of our cutlery and all of the utensils that you need to do the cooking with as well. Okay, when we shut the door, and when you're traveling, it's got a little lock on it. You just push that in to lock, and that's safe while you're traveling, so that you don't have that flying open. Okay, the kitchen sink is fairly standard. We just take that off. This is a extra bench space really for doing chopping, you know, for cutting your vegetables and stuff, using the wooden what do you call it, chopping board. That's right. So the sink is fairly standard. The sink works hot and cold from the pump. And over on this side we've got the fridge, and we've got above the fridge we have a big cupboard that's good for putting food in and stuff like that. And then we have the fridge, quite a nice decent sized fridge, and also a nice good sized freezer for the van. Now the fridge runs on 230 volt gas, and when you're driving the vehicle, the gas automatically is cut off, and of course you haven't got the 230 volt in because the plug is taken out, but it will run and operate while you're driving on 12 volts, so it goes all the time. At the moment it's on 230 volt, and it's saying AEG, and that means it's automatic. So it will automatically look for a power supply, and if the power supply is plugged in, the 230 volts plugged in, it will automatically go to 230 volt. If the power is not plugged in, then it will automatically look for gas. If the red light starts flashing and you're expecting it to find the gas, you have to check and make sure that the gas is switched on, because if the gas is not turned on, this blue light over here will turn to red on the left hand side, and it will flash at you and tell you it's not going. And so you just need to double check that. And this is one of the things that people often have problems with, is the red light's flashing. I don't know how to work it, but it either is going to run on 230 volt or gas. And if you do have problems with it, you found out the gas is switched on, you are plugged into 230 volt and it's not going, it's a bit like a computer. You just got to turn it off and switch it on again. This is your on off button here. You just push the button and hold it and it will go off, and then push the button again and it will come on. It will search for the power, the supply of energy, and then it should ignite. If it's on gas, it will ignite and the blue light should go on. The blue light's now flashing because it's telling me I've had the door open for too long. So we'll just close that off and we'll be fine. Okay, just coming around in the top cupboards over here to your right, we have all the crockery and glasses and cups. So everything that you need is up in there. There's 4 coffee mugs and lots of plates and cups and saucers and all that sort of thing, and glasses. Then to the right of that cupboard, we've got the linen cupboard with towels and face cloths and tea towels and all those sorts of things that you need in there. We've already had a look up in these cupboards before, but here you've got your bedding, there's sheets and there's blankets just in case you get a bit cooler, and there's spare linen up in there for the bed down the back. Over on this side here we have a cupboard that's good for putting clothes in. You know, if you got an extra person in here in the bed here, it's a great place for putting some clothes. So just coming along the cupboards again, here we've got some quite a few electronic components. This side of the electrical unit is the 12 volt, this side is the 230 volt, and when you're plugged into power, which we are at the moment, the lights are shining, so that tells us we're on 230 volt. We need both these lights on here to work the water heater and the space heater, and we also see the green charge light on. That's telling us that the trickle charger is charging the batteries at the moment. We don't have to worry about the unit up here. If you have a Sky decoder card, you can actually plug your decoder into here, yeah, they're probably not going to watch too much TV while you're on holiday in New Zealand anyway. This is for charging your phone as well, another phone charging unit here, and this switch here, we'll show you that a little bit later on, is for turning the TV on and off. This unit here is for the satellite dish that you also need for the TV. Again, I'll show you how that operates a little bit later in another video. And here we've got a unit that's telling us that the solar panels are working. It's putting 13.5 volts, it's sitting at 13.5 volts, the battery, and it's actually putting power into the battery at the moment. So the vehicle will run without being plugged into 230 volt at all for several days, and it works off the solar panels and also the house batteries. Good. Okay, I'm going to show you the shower and the toilet. So on the left hand side here we have the shower. That's a fairly standard shower box. We've seen it before with the vent, but to operate the shower, it's left to hot water, right to the cold water, and we push it to make it go, and it goes. And we have the door here which pops around and hooks into place here. Okay, so that's the shower. In the bottom of the shower there's a mat, and the best thing to do is take the mat out, put it on the floor in here, and then have your shower, and you can get out onto the mat, and that keeps the water safely all inside the unit. Okay, on this side here we have the toilet. Now the toilet, I'm just going to move inside the bathroom, so there's a bit more room in here. This is a automatic, this is a flush toilet. But before you can use the toilet, you have to open the vent. So by opening the vent here, that goes down into the cylinder, the tank that we pulled out before on the outside. So you open the vent and then use the toilet, and then here we have a blue button which we push, and you can hear the fan going. The fan is just taking any smells out of the vehicle and out of the toilet, and we can stop the fan. And here we have an indicator light which indicates that it's empty, and as the toilet fills up, as the tank fills up, so this light will go from 1 to 2 to 3, and then the top light which says it's full and needs emptying. Probably best to empty it when it gets to about 3 so that you don't overflow it. And to flush the toilet, once you've been to the toilet, you just push the button here and it flushes automatically, and then you close off the vent down into the tank, and then put the lid down. Also in here we have the tap for, again, just works off the pump, and some cupboards for putting your bits and pieces in. Okay, here we are in the dining area again. I want to show you the windows. All the windows have shutters on them. So the shutters that come up from the bottom are your daytime, nighttime shutters, and they give you privacy at nighttime when it's dark outside. So that's good. The curtains actually are just for show. They don't actually work. So you need to use the shutter that comes up from the bottom. But there's also one that comes down from the top. So if you've got your window open, you want to keep the mosquitoes out, you just pop that down and you've got fresh air coming in, but it won't let the bugs in. Now the windows themselves, all the windows in the vehicle are open, and they have these catches on them. So you just release the catches, and also unscrew on up the top here. This is the thumb screws. You undo the thumb screws, and you push the window out to where you want it, and then you do the thumb screws back up again. And that will hold the window there. Usually if it's a strong wind, it's best not to have them too far open, but that gives you lots of nice fresh air in. And then to let them down again, undo the thumb screws, pull them back, and hook them into place. They've got double hooks on them, so you can actually have them slightly open, but we please just ask that you shut them before you move the van, just so they don't get caught in the wind and rip them off the side. So that's the windows. Now I want to show you how the dining room table fits into this area as well. So above, up again in these cupboards up here, just below we've got another little cupboard with the little locks on them. You just press the little locks and that comes out, and inside this cupboard we've got the components to set up the dining room table. Okay, we're just going to move over to this side here. Now this unit here, it's the one that's got the knob on the top, and it just slides into the bracket that's bolted to the side of the unit here, and we tighten that one up, and then this one just slots over the top of that. Just untighten that and push that on there like that. You can tighten that up to hold it in place, or you can just leave it loose so that it can swivel. Now I've got the table over here. This table usually sits in the toilet down the other end of the vehicle, and it's fitted in there, but it can come down here for the dining room, and this little peg goes into the hole here, and that allows that to swivel as well, and it just slots into there like that. Now you can do it up tight. Once you've got it into place, you can tighten it so that things are not going to be moving around. But it just swivels quite nicely. You can move it out of the way so you can still get through, or you can put it into place here, and you can turn the chairs, captain's chairs around, and you can sit about 6 or 7 people around the table for a nice meal. And then to put it away, we just do everything in reverse. Okay, just a few safety features. Down behind the driver's seat we have a first aid kit. This is a necessity for us to put in here, just in case. So in here we have a small first aid kit, and we have an ACC first aid kit. We have a thermometer, and we have some eye patches for night time if you have trouble with lights on and sleeping. We have a sewing kit, just in case something breaks, or if you need fixing something, one of your clothes, it's a hole in it, you need to fix it. We've got a sewing kit in there. We've got a bandage in case you sprain your wrist or your arm, and also in here, insect repellent. Very important to have some insect repellent. So there's a few bits and pieces in there for you, just in case you need them, and that's good to have on board the motorhome as well. So we just pop them back down in there. In the back of the seat here, we have a whole list of instructions. There's a book of maps here of New Zealand, in case you need to find your way around. But in here we've got a whole heap of instructions, and some of the things that I've been talking about today on some of these instructions, and we'll get to this one very shortly, which is the mains unit, and work out about the heating of the hot water and all of that sort of thing. So we'll get to that shortly. But down behind the passenger seat also, you'll see down there is a red fire extinguisher. Should you require that, hopefully you won't, but should you need that, the fire extinguisher is down there. There are also around the place a few 230 volt power points so if you need to plug devices in, that's cool. But don't forget, you do have places to charge your phone, one in the front of the cab, one up in the cupboard up here, and they're great for charging your telephones. Okay, we're going to move up to the unit up above the door, and we're going to take a look at that now. So up here, very important little unit up here. This is your power supply up here, so I'll turn it off. Gives you an idea. When you come into the van, normally it's turned off, but you need to turn it on. When you turn it on, you've got a light switch here as well. You can turn all your lights off, or you can turn your lights on. There are separate light switches around the motorhome as well. But here you've got a picture of a tap, and that will turn your pump on for your water. For your hot water and cold water, the pump is operational by 12 volt. So to get the water out of the taps, you need that on as well. To get the stove to work, you need the power switch on here, because that ignites the gas. So this is important. When you go to leave, if this is left switched on, the vehicle will automatically turn it off, so you've got to turn it on when you get into the van. Over here on this side, we've got the panel which is telling you the power of the batteries, the van battery, the leisure battery, telling you that they're fully charged, and the freshwater tank. It's got fresh water in it, and the waste tank, it's actually indicating at the moment that it's got some water in it, but actually it's empty. I think maybe something's got caught on the thing inside that actually indicates the indicator. So that's it. Yeah, you should be fine with that. No problem. Just remember the power switch on and off, the tap on and off, and the lights on and off. Okay, you can see on the picture now we're focused on this unit up here. I just want to mention also that we do have this on a piece of paper, so all the instructions are on there for using this unit. But this unit up here is designed for heating the hot water. To be able to heat the hot water, and also to be able to heat the vehicle. So the vehicle at times, maybe in winter time when it's a wee bit cooler, you might need to put the heater on just so that it heats the air up inside the van. That's the same unit. The unit that heats the hot water and the unit that heats the van is the same unit, so we just have to get that going. So to get the hot water going, we need to determine what our source of power is going to be. If it's going to be gas, then this unit on the left hand side, the knob on the left hand side, sits at 3 o'clock, and that just denotes that it's on gas. On the right hand side, we need to turn it on and off. So this is the on off switch, and at the moment it's at 3 o'clock, which is off. If we want to turn it on, we'll turn it up to 1 o'clock, and that will start the process of heating the water. Now, to know that it's actually operational and working, we can listen out. Maybe one of you can sit in the bedroom on the bed. The unit is under the bed, and you can actually hear the unit fire up. So to begin with, that will start a fan going, and you'll hear the fan running probably about 20 or 30 seconds after you turn that switch to 1 o'clock, and you can hear the fan running, and then the igniter will fire up the boiler, and you can hear the actual gas coming in and firing up the boiler and starting the heating process. The process of heating the water will take 30 to 40 minutes before you have hot water in the cylinder. It's a cylinder that will continually heat the water when it's on. I just heard the gas fire up, so it's now actually operational. And so that will now then stay on and continue to heat the water in the van. Now I'll just turn that off again and down to the 3 o'clock. Now if you're plugged into the 230 volt and you want to heat the water on electricity, if you're plugged into a campsite, that's probably your best option. You're paying for the power anyway. So then we turn the left hand knob up to 1 o'clock. That now denotes that we're using 230 volt for heating the water. And again, this one's on off, and we turn that also up to 1 o'clock, and we'll see a little light come on the left hand dial. That is now denoting that it is now heating the water on 230 volt. Fairly straightforward, and so that's really cool. Now we're just going to turn those all back to 3 o'clock, which is off. Okay, so now if we want to heat the water and be available and be able to heat the air inside the van, we now need to turn the right hand. We're going to leave the left hand dial on gas because we're going to do it with gas. We only have the gas heater, so if you want to heat the van you have to have it running on gas. So we leave this one on gas, and we turn the right dial down to the bottom at around about 5 o'clock. So it's now going to start not only heating the water but also provide hot air in the van. And this dial here, you can turn it. It gives you a temperature gauge, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and the light comes on just to let you know at what level it is. I think we've been in the motorhome in the snow, and we've only ever probably had to have it on level 2 to heat up the van. It's a very efficient unit, and so you just leave it on for about 5 or 10 minutes and the van gets nice and toasty warm, and so you don't have to worry too much about it after that. Right, so I'm going to turn that back to the off position. That's just turned the heater off. I can hear it just turn off. And the thing is that if you do have any problems, if you go through this exercise and you're heating the water and you don't hear it start up or fire up, you have to ask yourself the question, am I plugged into the 230 volt if I'm trying on electricity, or is the gas turned on? If neither of those energies are turned on, then it's not going to work. So then go and check, make sure the gas is turned on, or make sure you're plugged into the 230 volt, and then try again. It's a little bit like a computer. If at first it doesn't work, turn the computer off and reboot it again. Alright, so that's our heating unit up here for both the hot water and also for heating the van. Okay, if you do have any problems, give me a call, but hopefully you can sort that out. Now just up here to the left as well, on the top of the mirror, just so that you know, this is the My Way sign and also the My Way phone number. If you need roadside assistance, it's got the phone number up there for you to dial on your mobile, and you can get My Way to organise roadside assistance for you. Okay, I think we're coming to the end of our little tour of the motorhome. We hope that you have a great time as you use the vehicle and really enjoy it, and enjoy New Zealand. It's a beautiful country, and we look forward to meeting you so that we can set you off on your way to have a great time and a wonderful holiday. Bless you all, and may you enjoy your flights or your drive, or however you're getting to our place. We'll catch you later. Okay, bye bye.